Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. We're doing a quick little series here. My best draft values at the quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. We've already covered the first two positions, quarterback and running back. So this video is all about the wide receivers. This is a free article on thefantasyfellowship.com. You can check that out at the link in the description below, or just go to thefantasyfellowship.com and find the free page. But anyways, we're looking at my best wide receiver values right now. And the first one on the list is going to be Michael Thomas. You can currently get him roughly in the third round of drafts. I just want to pull up his ADP right now. This is Fantasy Pros. We're looking at a bunch of different websites here for PPR scoring. He's about the 9th wide receiver off the board. He goes in the beginning of the third round. And once you get into the third round, getting a guy like Michael Thomas, who I think could, just 2 years ago or, the year before, 2019, he put up a monstrous season. He was by far and away the PPR wide receiver one. I don't think it matters who his quarterback is, whether it's Jameis or it is Taysom Hill. He balled out with Taysom Hill last year. He had 4 really, really nice games with Taysom Hill as the quarterback. So we're going to watch that situation. But for me, Thomas is locked in. He's going to be healthy this season. I think he's going to be a top 5 receiver potentially, but somewhere in that 5 to 10 range wouldn't surprise me. So I like getting a potential top 12 wide receiver there in the third round. My next receiver here, I have it as a duo of DJ Moore and Robby Anderson. I love both these guys' value this year. I've talked a lot about these guys in my other videos for sure. But with Sam Darnold, from Teddy Bridgewater to Sam Darnold, I don't really know what the difference is. I think Sam Darnold might actually take a few more risks and stretch the field a little bit more. And since Curtis Samuel is gone, Teddy Bridgewater, he was able to get DJ, Robby, and Curtis all in the top 25 of PPR leagues last year. Curtis is gone. That's going to open up, I think, a lot more short underneath routes for DJ and Robby. They're going to use both those guys in the Curtis Samuel position sometimes. And then they're going to bring in the rookie Terrace Marshall. They added David Moore too. But the majority of my thoughts think that DJ Moore and Robby Anderson, there's more meat on the bone for them with Curtis Samuel out of the way. So for DJ Moore, I think he's about wide receiver 18. DJ Moore, he's wide receiver 23 in this average list here. And Robby Anderson's even lower. Robby Anderson is wide receiver 34. And we're going to remove Curtis Samuel from this. Both guys, to me, are top 24 wide receivers. So I love the value of DJ Moore. But Robby Anderson going outside the top 30, that one seems foolish to me. So Robby is one of my favorite wide receivers. You can get him in the 6th round, 7th round sometimes. He's going as 83rd overall off the board. That just seems silly. So I love both Carolina receivers. Michael Gallup. Now, the thing with the Dallas Cowboys is you're going to want to get a piece of him. And Gallup is technically the cheapest and the best option to get for draft value. If you want to, if you want Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb, you got to pay a 3rd, almost a 4th round pick for them. If you want Zeke, you're spending a 1st round. But if you can get Gallup, and super late, double digits, maybe 8th, 9th round. Currently, Michael Gallup's ADP in this list is wide receiver 47. That makes no sense to me. He was wide receiver 38 last year with a handful of games from Andy Dalton. I don't see how he doesn't smash that ADP of wide receiver 47, especially with a full season of Dak Prescott. There's been OTA reports that they're finally moving Michael Gallup around the formation. He's been strictly an outside receiver for the majority of his career, where he does a lot of go routes. He basically just plays the sideline boundary, and he's so good at it too. But I always wondered if he could do some slot stuff, if we can get him, going across the middle of the field, and they're going to do that with Gallup more this season. So he seems like my favorite wide receiver value at the moment. You can get a Robby Anderson and Michael Gallup on your team in the 7th or 8th round, and you're getting 2 top 24. Maybe I think Gallup's going over 1,000 yards. I think he's going to be used a lot more than people expect him to. So he's one of my favorite receivers that you can get. The next 2 receivers on this list, Courtland Sutton and Antonio Brown. There was a lot of buzz around Courtland Sutton last year coming into the season, and now he's going to have a quarterback battle with Teddy Bridgewater and Drew Lock. I think if you're Denver, you're hoping Teddy Bridgewater is the quarterback. He's going to be more steady Eddie, just move the ball and kind of dink and dunk and get his way down the field. Drew Lock is a little bit more reckless. But either way, Courtland Sutton does have a good rapport with Drew Lock, and if it is Teddy Bridgewater, we saw Teddy lift a handful of receivers as top 25 receivers. So Courtland Sutton, current average draft position is around wide receiver 31. I think he can be easily a top 30 wide receiver, so I see some good upside here. Doesn't really matter if it's Drew Lock or Teddy Bridgewater, because I know if it goes wrong with one of them, they have another guy there to step up and be pretty useful. So Courtland Sutton, again, people were super excited about him last summer, and now they're kind of forgetting about him. And then my last wide receiver here is Antonio Brown. Now, Antonio Brown, it took him a while to get heated up last year, but when he started playing well, he averaged 14.6 PPR points per game last year, which was 23rd best among wide receivers. Antonio Brown's making me nervous about drafting Chris Godwin and Mike Evans. Antonio Brown down here is wide receiver 47. He basically performed when you had Antonio Brown in your lineups last year. He was, roughly a top 25 wide receiver. So you're potentially getting a wide receiver 2 down here as overall 106, wide receiver 45 off the board. That just seems like a stupid good value. It wouldn't surprise me to see him finish over 1,000 yards, catch 8 to 10 touchdowns. We know Tom Brady loves him. You can get him in the 8th, 9th, 10th round. So it just seems like receiver values here. These are some of my favorite ones to target. And all the guys on this list, like you could just draft running backs, 1, 2, 3 in the first 3 rounds, and then just snag a handful of these wide receivers and make yourself a pretty monster lineup. So those are my wide receiver values. Check out the quarterback values, the running back videos. We're going to cover tight ends next. So that's going to do it for this one. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.